Progression. The process of developing or moving gradually towards a more advanced state. To progress in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is to move forward, starting from humble beginnings as you grow and advance your collection. We all know the drill, moving forward in Yu-Gi-Oh!'s timeline, opening up a box of each set to advance our collection and open up new and varied strategies. If this is what progression means in Yu-Gi-Oh!, then antithetical to this is sealed. Seal. To fasten or close securely. Both limiting and restrictive. Playing sealed in Yu-Gi-Oh! Involves opening up a box of one set and building a deck out of only those pulls. It requires skills in learning the ins and outs of an individual set and the ability to identify the outliers and what counters are available to combat them. Progression and sealed are as diametrically opposed to each other as Yu-Gi boomers and Yu-Gi zoomers, but no longer. Enter the Seal of Prog-Richalcos. In this series, in each episode, myself and Tobias will open 2 sets from Yu-Gi-Oh! Moving chronologically forward. We will then play 3 matches against each other. The first 2 being sealed showdowns where we push limited deck building to their limits, the third being a progression match where we can use every card in our collection to build the most powerful deck at our disposal. This is the Seal of Prog-Richalcos. Quick disclaimer, prior to starting this series, Tobias had only ever played Yu-Gi-Oh! As a child, so we'll be learning the rules as we go. These matches were also originally played in 2021 onwards when we embarked on this journey as a way of reconnecting and staying in touch every weekend. So using the YGO Pro Deck Collection Manager to showcase our pulls, and Dueling Book's own replay system, I kindly invite you to watch the Seal of Prog-Richalcos. Hello and welcome to episode 4 of the Seal of Prog-Richalcos. Just before we start with the sets, I thought I'd just briefly talk about the ban list that we've been implementing throughout the episodes, because I've not really had a chance to bring it up. So basically, it's kind of ad hoc as cards are obtained by either of us and deemed either too powerful or too unfun. We just both slap them on the ban list together. That's why you get stuff like the Dark Door, Vengeful Bog Spirit and Fairy Box here. None of them are actually like game-definingly strong, but they're just annoying and boring to play against. Likewise, we've got Cyberjar here too. Tribute to the Doomed met this fate.
Look how they massacred my boy.
Just because basically every single time Tobias was able to establish a big 2 tribute monster, I just drew this card and just was able to windmill slam it and destroy it instantly, so I can see why Tobias was a bit frustrated by that, given it's a very strong piece of removal. Mirror Force obviously is banned as well because that card is just unfun and unfair. Delinquent Duo we finally decided to ban just because it's just another big card that just nobody has fun playing against. And we've also got rid of the Robin Goblin because Tobias lost to that one too many times. Anyway, moving on to today's sets. First up, we have Legacy of Darkness. Now, this set was released around about June 2006, and this is where Yu-Gi-Oh! Really metastasizes into the card game we know and love today. Prior to this, it was sort of a Magic the Gathering rip-off with sort of monsters that didn't really do much, and then just these crazy powerful spells and traps that were just back-breaking to deal with. Here, we actually get the foundations of maybe not archetypes as we know and love them today, but we get foundations of individual strategies and slightly more tribal decks can be built from this. The set introduces the Spirit subtype to the game in cards like Yatagarasu, Yamata Dragon and Hinekagasuchi. Now these are cards that are really interesting. They can't be special summoned, and after they've been normal summoned on the turn, they bounce back to your hand. Now, in this early state of Yu-Gi-Oh!, maintaining advantage in any form whatsoever is really critical, so even though you lose advantage of them not being on the field, that is actually a benefit because they then can't be removed by opponents' spell cards like Fissure or Combat during their turn, and means that they're always accessible to you come your next turn as another option for you to be able to out what the opponent has established. So this is what the sort of foundation of spirits were designed to be. Obviously, now in modern Yu-Gi-Oh! And probably since about like 2007, 2008, they've kind of got power crept massively out of the game. But at this point, they're pretty strong options, and Yata just being able to lock out the opponent's draw is insane. Yamata and I can't say this card, okay? I'm going to always call this guy Gamasuchi. I'm just dumb. But Yamato Dragon and Hinakagasuchi are interesting 2 tribute monsters. One of them lets you draw until you have 5 cards in hand when it destroys a monster, also when it inflicts battle damage, and the other one forces the opponent to discard all cards in their hand, which both of these are incredibly powerful effects. Obviously the commitment to 2 tributes for a monster that balances your hand is quite hard to come by, but they see their fair share in sort of jank builds, although saying that I don't really want to play anything janky today just for fear of unleashing the spirit again. We've got Creature Swap, which is a really good ultra rare card. Just being able to give one of your recruiters to the opponent and then battling over it so you get the advantage of summoning a dude from deck is insane. Along with the spirits, this set really bolsters 3 types of Yu-Gi-Oh monsters. We have Fiend support in things like Dark Ruler Hadaz, Dark Ball to the Terrible, and a number of good commons and rares below. We have the Warriors with Marauding Captain, Reinforcement of the Army, and Exiled Force, and then Dragons in Tyrant Dragon, Spear Dragon, Luster Dragon number 2, amongst a plentiful other good commons and rares that buff out these respective types. All of these are pretty powerful. I think Warriors probably has the best form of removal, because you have both obviously Exiled Force and things like Mysterious Guard and Throwstone Unit, which are incredibly strong. Fiends have some pretty nice battle tricks with Bark of Dark Ruler, and then the Dragons have some good, easy, consistent spell trap removal in things like Stamping Destruction and a Wingbeat of Giant Dragon. They all play against each other quite nicely, where the sealed environment for this set is actually a fun one for once. Like, it's not just going to be a stall fest. Things are going to happen.
Things are happening?
Strategies are going to be able to be played. It's not just going to be face mashing big monsters into each other while we sit on stally defensive spell and traps to basically enable us to never die. So this one looks to be a fun one.
Points for optimism.
Okay, looking over here, we got pretty much what we would want in some of these commons. We've got Triple Legendary Ocean, which enables some water decks down the line. Double Bottomless Trap Hole is very strong. This card is just a great piece of removal, especially as we're playing in sort of post-priority era, whereas obviously back in the day this card wasn't as strong, because every time a monster was summoned it had the option to use its effect on summon, even if it was like a once per turn effect.
Thanks for the history lesson, sis.
Since they removed priority from the game and like you play these formats retroactively, Bottomless Trap Hole is just insane. Any monster that's got 1500 attack, which both Tobias and I play a lot of cards like that, this card just instantly wipes out, which is so strong. We did get the Dark Ruler Hadaz. He's a pretty good 1 tribute monster, but we probably don't have the Fiend lineup to really support him. We got a couple of good fusions in Fiend Skull Dragon and the Ryu Senshi over here, which are both very good instant fusion targets and decent enough fusions on their own. I mean, the materials aren't super strong, but there's some viability to them, at least in this stage of the Yu-Gi-Oh! We did get Hinokagasuchi, who is a very funny card. We got 1 Mysterious Guard, which is a little bit disappointing. I would have liked to have picked up 2 or 3 for the sealed deck, because this card is very strong. We did get enough Stamping Destruction, so we've got some good spell trap removal at last. And then we got triple Throwstone Unit, 1 Thunder Nyan Nyan, and the Yatagarasu as well, which I have a lot of interesting brews with. Alright, so looking at our deck, we focused primarily on the Warriors and Dragons from this set. So in the vanillas, we've got Luster Dragon number 2, which is just a pretty strong 1 tribute monster, Warrior Digrapher ×2, and Triple Dragon Dwelling in the Cave. He's a decent attacker, this is a decent defender, but crucially also Warrior Digrapher, along with the polymerizations that we grant ourselves, makes us the powerful Ryu Senshi. We also have the Dark Ruler Hadaz, another just good 1 tribute monster that actually outs Luster Dragon 2. We have Double Cave Dragon. This card isn't very good, but just sits in attack mode as a 2000 attacker, potentially. Like, if you get this card turn 1 before you have a monster, you just slap them down and it's pretty hard for the opponent to out. We've got Triple Spirit Ryu. I used to love this card back as a kid. Like, I didn't really understand how its effect works, because I don't think I knew what discard meant. So I'm not sure how exactly the old card was worded, but I used to just send dragons from my deck to the graveyard infinitely. I'd be like, yeah, I'm going to play a 40 card dragon deck, normal summon Spirit Ryu, I'll attack your monster and use Spirit Ryu, sending blue eyes, blue eyes, blue eyes, Cave Dragon, Troop Dragon. Now my monster gains 8,000 attack and defense. I win.
That's called cheating.
Fundamentally misunderstanding how card game mechanics worked, but didn't we all back in the day? We have Throwstone Unit, who's also a really fun card. You contribute 1 warrior to destroy a monster with less defense than that Throwstone Unit's attack. And if you look, most of these monsters outside of the vanillas have pretty low defense, so Throwstone Unit is just another way of outing a monster, and 2,000 defense is pretty nice. Hunter with 7 weapons is a really good card, especially when we've got these sort of tribal lines. Knowing whether Tobias is playing a more fiend lineup or dragons or warriors, when we just summon this dude, we can declare the type that we expect to face or the type that Tobias has on the field, and then Hunter just immediately clears it when it battles, basically, because it gains 1,000 attack, which is good enough. We have the Mysterious Guard, which is a really cool flip monster. I really wish this card had actually seen some competitive play, because it has some cool applications. If it's flipped up, you can basically always target one monster your opponent controls and put that on the deck. But if it's flipped up while you control a warrior, not only do you place one target on the opponent's top of the deck, you return a second target to their hand. So imagine like this, you go Warrior Digrapher, set Mysterious Guard, your turn, you flip Mysterious Guard, and you can bounce 2 monsters back to the hand and top of the deck. Just a crazy swinging advantage that this card offers. We've got Triple Troop Dragon. This card is just a reliable, this is basically like Bubonic Vermin. We also do have the Yatta Goasu. Not that I think this card is very good for this specific sealed environment, but if I can summon him and execute the Yatta lock, that will make me happy. We have Fusion Sword and Murasama Blade. This can be equipped to Warrior Digrapher, Hunter, or Throwstone Unit at a push to just give it 800 attack. And then we have Heart of Clearwater. This card is pretty good. With this card, you can make one of your defensive monsters, like Throwstone Unit, be unable to be destroyed by battle or card effects. We've got double polymerization just to fuse our Digrapher and our Spirit Ryu to make the Ryu Sentry, which is an incredibly strong card that can just negate most trap cards from this set. We've got triple Stamping Destruction. Because we're playing a big suite of dragons, this card is just free spell trap removal, which is great. A couple of Warrior Returning Alive just to be able to recur some of our good warriors to hand and reuse them again. And then in the traps, we've got double Blast with Chain. This just gives a monster 500 attack, and that's about it, but it's a cool battle trick, so we might as well play it. And then we've got double Bottomless Trap Hole, double Burst Breath, and 2 Ominous Fortune Telling. So the Burst Breath is basically just a somewhat board wipe if we've got a strong enough dragon with good defense, like Dragon Dwelling in the Cave. And Ominous Fortune Telling is kind of a burn tool that will enable us to hopefully close out the game a bit quicker, whilst also letting us see Tobias' hand and be able to preempt exactly what he's going to play. In the side deck, we actually have some pretty useful cards for depending on Tobias' exact ratios. We're playing double Shadow Tamer. If I see Tobias playing a lot of Fiend monsters, I'll slide this one in. If he's playing a lot of dragons, Dragon Manipulator could be a good to come in. Likewise, Otohime is a kind of out to annoying things. It just shifts the monster's meta position, but if you're stuck and you can't deal with the Dragon Dwelling in the Cave or like a Dark Hall Head, this card can be nice to just normal summon, flip it to defense or attack mode, and you can walk one over it. Possessed Dark Soul is pretty funny if Tobias is on a lot of like weak monsters level 3, you can just summon this guy, tribute it, and steal them all. And Hunter, we just have the 3rd Hunter here. I think 2 is pretty fine in the main deck. We also have After the Struggle, which used to be called After Genocide, if you can believe it. They quickly changed that card's name, understandably so. Then we have triple Feng Sheng Mirror and these other cards, Blast Third, Blast of Chain, and Wedge Intercepting, just to give us a little bit more variety and options. Right, let us head into the duels. Alright, so we win the Rock, Paper, Scissors, and we open with a pretty decent hand. Except for the fact that we've got no monsters. Okay, the draw for turn really solves that. Throwstone Unit is a great draw, which is going to set it down and set down the Ominous Fortune Telling and end our turn. Tobias sets 2 and passes his turn. Sets 3 and cheekily passes his turn back to us. During his end phase, we're going to flip open the Ominous Fortune Telling.
Hey, a fortune teller!
And this will allow us, during our standby phase, to call one type of monster, spell, or trap, and check a card in his hand for that type. We're going to go for the 4, pick the middle, and I guess I called spell. This is the, one issue with dual records where we don't put things in the chat. I don't know what I'm going to be calling with the Ominous Fortune Telling. So we're just going to set down the Bottomless Trap Hole and pass. Tobias sets down another back row and it's back over to us. We draw us during the standby phase. We're just going to select this first card in his hand and call monster, I guess. I don't know. We didn't take 700 damage this time. This is a cool looking card. Tobias passes. This is looking like a brick fest on both of us, none of us are getting any offensive monsters. Alright, we're going to do the Ominous Fortune again and get the Dragon's Bead. At this point, we're just going to start going aggressive. We're going to go for the Murazame Blade onto the Throwstone and just going to head into battle and attempt to get some damage in and it connects. We pass turn and it's back over to Tobias. Tobias sets down a monster, he's finally found one, and it's back to us. We go in for our standby phase, Ominous Fortune Telling once more, and we're just going to select this. We're going to select this card and call something or other. It's a spell, and we must have called spell because Tobias took the damage. Hooray! Alright, normal summon the Troop Dragon, and we're going to start trying to crack Tobias' back row with Stamping Destruction. Let's get rid of his Nutrient Z.
The endless now.
And then we're going to go for Stamping Destruction and get rid of Burst. Heading into battle, we're just going to go for the Throwstone unit first. Clue into the Mysterious Guard, so Tobias can stack one of our monsters to the top of the deck, and he puts the Throwstone unit there. Troop Dragon's going to get in for a mighty 700 damage, and we're going to pass the turn. Down comes Exiled Force. Ooh, this is a very strong card, especially... Ooh! And the Array of Revealing Light. Declare one type of monster. Any monster of the declared type cannot declare an attack during the turn its normal summon for some of the special summoned. And the A4, everything's coming down. Now we've got the Exile Force. It's going to clear into the the Troop Dragon. Troop Dragon's going to float on into the second one. And Tobias passes my turn. We're going to set Ominous Fortune Telling, and we're going to declare wrongly, and we just end our turn. Tobias is going to battle and immediately clear our guy with Exile Force, and we're going into the final Troop Dragon here. We draw the dragon dwelling in the caves. We're going to normal summon this beast, flip over the Mysterious Guard, and put his Exiled Force on top of his deck. We're just going to go in for battle, attack in with these three dudes, and put Tobias down to 1,000. Exile Force comes down, clears up a few dudes, and we're going to Ominous Fortune Telling, get rid of that Dragon Speed, and attack in. Putting Tobias to 300. Tobias sets a monster and passes back over to us. We're going to draw the Lost Dragon number 2, and we're just going to go for the Ominous Fortune Telling once more. Look at this one, it's a spell, and down comes the Lost Dragon. Pass. While we're returning alive is a insane draw, getting Tobias back his Exiled Force. He sets a monster, flips, summons a monster, flips the Dragon Manipulator. Are you kidding me?
Welcome to Dragon Training.
Steals the Lost Dragon, and at this point, the tides have well and truly turned. My go. Ominous, only to the end phase. Okay, I get my Lost Dragon back, and we're going to declare on his final card in hand. We're going to declare spell, maybe? Yeah, and that is the game. The Fortune Telling for the win.
I'm a Sokovian fortune teller.
Tobias elects to go first, which is fine by us. Wild Eye Graphic is a very strong start, and it's over to us. We're just going to set down the Troop Dragon and one back row and pass our turn. Tobias draws. He sets down another card and another monster, and he's going to head into battle. He hits in, and we're going to float one Troop Dragon into another, which is the Troop Dragon Shuffle.
The
Troop Dragon.
shuffle, huh?
Heart of Clearwater is an interesting draw. We can make one of our guys destruction or battle proof, but we're just going to go for the Stamping Destruction first, just to try and clear away some of Tobias' back row. Gets rid of the Bottomless Trap Hole, which we're really pleased to avoid having to deal with normally. We're going to go for the normal summon of the Spirit Ryu, and we're going to head into battle, try and clear the Warrior Digrapher by pitching the Dragon dwelling in the caves in the battle step. That goes through, and Tobias takes 300. We're going to go for Heart of Clearwater, equipping that onto our Spirit Warrior just to give it some really strong protection, and we pass our turn. Tobias sets and it's over to us again. We're going to go aggressive here. We're just going to start clearing in with Troop Dragon, 700 attack for the win, and it's a Dragon Manipulator, fair enough. Tobias doesn't really, there's no point in him taking monster because it just goes back to us in the end phase, so he just passes. I'll go, ooh, Dark Ruler Hades, that's great. We're going to tribute the old Troop Dragon for Dark Ruler Hades.
You know, I haven't been this choked up since I got a hunk of moussaka caught in my throat. Huh?
And punch on in. It's a Shadow Tamer. Jeez, I mean, Tobias is getting pretty unlucky that he's not being able to flip these guys proactively to take our monsters, but I mean, I'll take what I can get, so we clear both the monsters. Then we go after the Genocide.
Genocide.
Okay, so in the end phase, all my guys die. Normal summons the Wild Eye Graphic. We're going to bottomless it, get him out of here, and then as Tobias ends his turn, our two monsters then engaged in combat die. We draw Hunter with 7 weapons is pretty good, but we don't really have a good target for it, so we're just going to set down the Dragon dwelling in Cave for a bit of protection. Down comes Cave Dragon. We draw into Spirit Ryu. We're going to go for Hunter with 7 weapons, and we're going to declare Dragon. We're going to battle in, and we're just going to attempt to crash these 2 Juggernauts here, and it's Tobias' go again. Warrior returning alive is a supremely strong draw, getting Warrior Digrapher back to the hand, which gets normal summoned and attacks into our Dragon dwelling in the depths for 300 damage. Our turn, we draw into our own Warrior returning alive, which is pretty good. We're going to use that, recur our Hunter, and we're going to normal summon him, declaring Warrior. Going in for combat, does Tobias have another battle trick? No, he does not. The Hunter clears this time, and Tobias takes 300. Pass over to him. Normal summons his own Hunter. This is going to crash them both. They're both going to be Warrior slaying men and die together.
We die together.
We draw into a Troop Dragon. At this point, we kind of have to just pass. We don't really want to overcommit too much. Tobias sets and passes. Now we're going to go for the Possessed Dark Soul and just head into battle, see if we can clear whatever Tobias has set. It is a Shadow Tamer, which is completely useless, and I am my turn. Tobias' draw, sets down a monster, and it's back to me. We draw. Polymerization. Ooh, we've got half of the fusion, but not quite ready to go for that. We're going to go for Possessed Dark Soul into the Throwstone unit, fair enough, and it's over to Tobias again. Heart of Clear Water comes down, protecting his Throwstone unit, which is very frustrating, but we drew the perfect out. We're going to Stamping Destruction and get him out of here, and end our turn. On Tobias' turn, he just passes. We go for the Hunter with 7 weapons here, and we're going to declare Warrior, and give him the Fusion Sword and Murasama Blade. This will allow him to punch over the Throwstone unit. And now we can start getting some damage in with the Possessed Dark Soul. Down comes a Warrior Digrapher, and he's going to use it just to clean up our Possessed Dark Soul and pass. Our turn. Spirit Wheel is another fun draw. We're just going to go for the one Warrior. I'm going to go head to battle. So we're going to go Hunter first into the Warrior, get through him with a load of damage, same with the Spirit Wheel, and we're going to pass. Down comes Cave Dragon, which is a pretty annoying card to out, and Burst Breath activates. Burst Breath is going to absolutely cook our entire field here.
He blew with all his might.
Yeah, that was fun to see. Super Rejuve goes. Oh my gosh, and Tobias is actually going to draw for 1 here. This is pre-Dragon Ruler. Super Rejuve. Who would have thought it? Okay, over to me, and we drew into Dragon running in the cave again. Okay, we're just going to set the Troop Dragon and pass. Tobias' go. Sets down a card and passes it back. We draw the Warrior Digrapher, and at this point, we have the fusion combo assembled. I activate Polymerization, fusing together my Spirit Ryu and Warrior Digrapher to summon forth the Ryu Senshi. I think we can confirm that, just while we're here, Ryu Senshi, I think, is probably the first confirmed transgender Yu-Gi-Oh card. On first outward appearance, it looks to be male, but the name Ryu Senshi. Editor, cut this bit out.
No, I don't think I will.
Down comes Exiled Force, and that's a pretty clean out to the Senshi. Tobias sets a card and passes it back to us. I'll go, we go and draw the Blast of the Chain, which is pretty cool. We're just going to set down the Dragon running in the cave and set down our final back row. We're going to flip over the Troop Dragon and start heading into combat. And would you look at that, I actually said flip over instead of flip open. Anyway, okay, Hunter with 7 weapons comes down, Dragon is declared, and we get the A forces as well. This is making the Hunter huge as he easily clears the Troop Dragon. We're going to float on in to nothing because we've used them all. Have we actually, oh gosh, we have used them. We've gone through a load of cards this game. Alright, our turn. We're going to draw. Throwstone unit is pretty good, but not quite enough to deal with the Hunter with 7 weapons. We're going to summon him, activate Blast with Chain. Oh. Because he's not a warrior, we get the boost from Blast with Chain, 1400 are able to clear. We pass our turn, Tobias' go. Down comes Spirit Ryu, Stamping Destruction. To out his own field spell. Oh, and he's going to go for the Spirit Ryu but plus Luster Dragon to clear our Throwstone. Our turn, and we draw Luster Dragon 2, which is perfect here. We're doing a tribute for the big LD. We're just going to clean up this Spirit Ryu. Oh, we are not going to clean up the Spirit Ryu because Bottomless Trap Hole is going to stop us in our tracks. This game has slipped away from us.
It's all just slipping away.
Tobias' turn. Sets a card, punching in with the impressive Spirit Ryu. Can we draw anything to get out of this jam? Mysterious Guard sets him back a turn and has a pretty decent defense stat, so that is one of the better draws. Tobias draws, part sets, and passes, not willing to commit. We're going to get the Hunter with 7 weapons here, which is just perfect. Summon him out, declare dragon, and boom. Clean up the Ryu. And Tobias is going, oh, he's just going to set another background pass. We draw the Wario returning alive, which is insane. We're going to use this, grab back our Hunter with 7 weapons, which we're going to normal summon, and we're going to attempt to go in for combat with these 2 little hunters. Bam, ba-da-da-da-doo-doo-doo. Okay, flicking on over to our progression deck, we've buffed it up a little bit with some troop dragons and stamping destructions, but roughly it stays much the same as it was in the previous episodes. We've still got our big powerhouses in Jinzo, our strong attackers with Jiraiya and Zombira. We still have double Bazoo, who's just a really good card for mid to late game, as I keep saying. He's also really funny to do memes of. We've got triple Mystic Tomato just to float into itself, plus the Sangan. We have the Morphing Jar too, because if we can grab this off of Sangan if we're in a sticky situation, this is just a good out to anything. Triple Bubonic Vermin, again just more fodder for tributes. Same with the Troop Dragons, but it also has a flexi use because it can be spell trap removal along with Stamping Destruction. We do have the Yatta. If we can get into a game state where we can summon this guy and win with it, I would just laugh till the end of time, but I'm not sure whether that's too likely. We've got double Fissure, 1 Heavy Storm, 1 Nobleman Extermination, the Pot of Greed, double Stamping Destruction, 1 Upstart, and Offerings to the Doomed, Painful Choice, and double Warrior Returning Alive for our main deck. We've got Magic Cylinder in our traps, as well as 3 Magic Drain, just because we're really worried about Tobias's power spells, and we have double Bottomless Trap Hole, and we've slid in the Grave Robber into the main deck, just because it's funny. Like, if Tobias has Pot of Greed, we can use this to steal it. If he uses his own Fissure, we can steal the Fissure. We can steal his Offerings to the Doomed. We can steal a lot of good stuff with this.
Stealing's wrong, doofus!
For the side, we've just got some of these type taking monsters, just in case Tobias has pivoted onto one of them as his main strategy. The Michizuris have moved over here because they're not so useful in the main deck. In the extra deck, we've just got 4 bluffs. Right, let's head to the match. We draw and, well, this isn't supposed to be here. This card was supposed to be banned at this stage.
He cheats.
Tobias is going to go for the Pot of Greed into Zombira. Classic. You can't beat that from this early stage. And we're going to go for the Delinquent Duo that really shouldn't be here. I think maybe we banned it midway through this in live time. That's my only justification for running this card. We snipe out the Legendary Ocean, and Tobias also discards the Aqua Spirit. Oh god, with a Legendary Ocean, these water cards are actually even stronger because you can just summon, I think Amphibian Beast is a 5, right? So you can just normal summon that guy. Alright, we're going to go for the Zombira into Zombira Mutually Assured Destruction here, and pass it over. Tobias sets 1 card and ends turn. We're going to go for the Nobleman immediately. Let's just get this thing on. And it's a last turn. Well, am I glad to see... Well, this card fills me with mixed emotions. Firstly, I'm glad to see it not being used in this game, but secondly, I'm terrified of it actually ever getting activated and trying to resolve what happens. Right, we're just going to set the Vermin and pass over. Tobias go. He passes. We draw. We're going to flip over our Bubonic Vermin, set a second one, summon the Mystic Tomato, and we're just going to punch him with these little dudes. 2300 damage. Nice. We're going to pass over. Tobias' turn. Down comes Injection Fairy Lily. Humana humana.
Hello, this.
And it's going to be paired with the Fissure, just taking out the Bubonic Vermin, and Tobias passes, not willing to risk or willing to pay 3,000 life points. Our turn, trying to think of ways to really deal with the Lily effectively. We're going to normal summon Bazoo, we're going to banish a Vermin and a Zombira, buffing ourselves to 22. We're going to flip over our second Vermin, grab the third one. And at this point, we're just going to essentially force Tobias to pay a massive amount of life points or just take all this damage. He's just going to pay the 2,000. We're going to take 2,000 here, float 1 tomato into another. We're going to do it again. He's going to pay 2,000. We're going to float this Mystic Tomato into the Sangan. And then we're going to go Bazoo, and Tobias loses. That was a quick game. suppose, to be fair, we did Delinquent Duo for 2, so that's... I still think I probably would have won that game even without Delinquent Duo, but I'm not going to actually put down the scorecard because that was not fair on Tobias to do so.
No contest.
Right, Tobias draws Pot of Greed. Love to see it. He's going to set down 1 and summon the Zombira. Our turn. We're just going to go for the upstart here, draw into bottomless, which is pretty decent. We're going to go for Jirai Gumo, set 1 and pass. Tobias' turn. Fissure comes down, cleans off our spider, and then the Gyojin. We're going to take 1650 here, and our turn. Stamping Destruction is a decent draw. We're going to go for the Troop Dragon, Stamp Destruction, get rid of that last turn. Okay, but this glued to Tobias' hand. We're going to pass. Tobias' go, and he can start getting some damage in here with his Zombira into this Troop Dragon. Yeah, we're going to take 1400, float on into our middle one. Gyojin's going to kill that, and then we're going to summon out the third one. Our turn. Fissure is a really strong draw here, but it's not really great to just get rid of the Gyojins. We're going to summon the Mystic Tomato. We're going to do the classic crash into Zombira until he's weak enough to die. Second Mystic Tomato goes in, we take a bit of damage, and now the third one comes in. At this stage, we're just going to... What am I even doing? We're going to Fissure the Zombira now, it's weaker than Gyojin. I don't know. What was I thinking here? Okay, Bottomless gets rid of the second Zombira. That's fine. But I've left myself so vulnerable. Okay, we're going to get Gyojin into the Mystic Tomato, and we're going to grab our Sangan with this. Our turn. We draw the Vermin. We're going to switch Sangan sidewise, set the Vermin. Just trying to live here. Gyojin goes for the Vermin. We're going to summon a second Vermin out. And then in main phase 2, it's going to get tributed for the Jinzo. And Aqua Spirit for the follow-up. Alright, in our standby phase, he's going to flip our Troop Dragon vertical. We're going to swap Sangan into attack mode as well, and just going to attack with it into the Aqua Spirit just to fetch ourselves our one and only out. Morphing Jar number 2. In the main phase 2, we're going to set down a mystery monster and pass a turn. Tobias' go. He's just going to head for combat, clear the Troop Dragon, and clear the second Vermin into the third one. I'll go. We draw into Zombira, which is pretty good because we can actually start outing some of his board without having to rely on the Morphing Jar. We get rid of the Aqua Spirit, deal a 4500, and then in main phase 2, we're going to Morphing Jar number 2. Shuffle, shuffle.
Shuffle.
Tobias is going to get Mad Violent, and we're going to get double Bazoo. Pass the turn. Tobias draws, sets a card, and flips over his cards, and these are some pretty good outs. Aqua Spirit into another one. And both Bazoos are easily cleaned up, and as is the game. Well, we've got to give Tobias credit on that one. I don't know what I was thinking with the Mystic Tomato play, but he outplayed me in all other areas of the game, so well played. Into, I guess, game 2, because the first game didn't really count. But let's go first and see if we can establish something that Tobias can't crack. Grave Robber's a fun draw. We're just going to set the Troop Dragon, be a bit defensive with our 2 traps as back row support, and pass the turn. Tobias sets a card, summons the spider, and passes. We're going to draw. We're not going to get much of a better opportunity, so we're just going to Fissure the spider, get it out of here, and we're going to summon our own spider. Pass the turn. Our spider loses to Fissure again, and I'm getting a sense of deja vu. Deja vu! I've just been in this place before! And it's back to us. We draw Bazoo. And we're going to flip over the Troop Dragon and just start heading in for some damage. 700 isn't much, but it's better than nothing. Main phase 2, we're going to normal summon the Zombira and end our turn. Tobias just passes. I need like a sound clip of just myself just saying that, just for editing, where I can just put that on every single time Tobias passes, because it happens a lot. Right, anyway, we're going to set down a monster and start heading in for the combat with the Troop Dragon again, dealing more 700. Finally, a monster comes down. Here is a Witch. And a Witch is going to blast on over the Troop Dragon. First Troop Dragon is going to search the second one, and Tobias is going to end his turn. And Tobias is going to end his turn. And Tobias is going to end his turn. And Tobias... I'm seeing what has happened. This duel, the recording, the replay... I don't know what happened. One of us must have lost internet connection or something, because there's nobody left. But there's no more plays to the game. I'm just going to scratch this one off like I did with the first one, because it's unknown what on earth would have happened.
No contest.
This is going really great. 3 progression jewels, 2 of which basically didn't count. Well, apparently that was the last of the Progression Legacy of Darkness jewels we did, which is a shame because the set is really good and I actually was quite hyped to see some of these fun replays. Okay, Pharaonic Guardian. This is, honest to God, one of my favourite Yu-Gi-Oh sets of all time. I love so many of the cards here. I have such fond memories of playing them as a kid. And the gameplay and intricacies of this set, it really is a fun thing to play. It's so impressive how strong a lot of these cards are, both in the sealed environment and in the progression environment. I'm so excited to get to play some of them today. Pharaonic Guardian released in July, just 1 month after, like really 1 month after Legacy of Darkness. Strange. Anyway, and it contains a lot of cool concepts. We get a lot of the Egyptian themed cards, like the regenerating mummies. We've got Pyramid Turtle. We get a lot of Merrick's cards from the anime, like Lava Golem in the Secret Rare slot. Ring of Destruction is a classic Kaiba staple and is also an incredibly strong card. Book of Moon, which still sees play to this day, debuted here. Crazy to think a card that is now 20 years old is still good.
Ooh, 20 years. Yes, 20 years.
We've got stuff like King Tiger Wanghu, which leads to a lot of fun stun decks that are sort of anti-recruiter decks, which are really cool. Pyramid Turtle can float into any zombie basically, because they mostly all have 0 defense or low defense stats. Reckless Greed is great for some deep draw deck. First debut the incredible archetype, the Gravekeepers. Gravekeepers Watchers is a funny thing. It just basically is an anti-discard card, so has some applications, isn't super good, but is funny. Winged Sage Fulcros, I always like this card because I have an affinity for the Winged Beast monsters, and Wind Attribute, as you'll see as the series progresses. So this card is just pretty fun. If he kills a monster per battle, he puts it on top of the deck, so you can basically just force the opponent to, if they're in a pretty bad situation, you can just make sure that they can never draw out of it, which is really cool. Spirit Weeper is an incredibly strong rare card, just the first monster, I believe, that can't be destroyed by battle.
You can't destroy me!
Obviously, it has a way to just easily get rid of it by targeting it with the card effect, but if your opponent is lacking that and you can manage to summon this guy on an empty board, he also functions as like a Robin Goblin every time he attacks. Very strong. In the short prints, we've got some fun stuff like Ordeal of Traveler. Okay, you know I said the set was fun, I forgot Ordeal of a Traveler was in the set. This card is a menace. When you attack, pick a random card in the opponent's hand, declare monster, spell, or trap. If you declare right, the attack goes through. If you declare wrong, your monster goes back to the hand. So it's like fairy books, but at least you don't lose the monster, I suppose. His attack isn't becoming 0, but it's just setting you back on tempo. Really strong. Maiden of the Aqua, I guess that's why Tobias is probably still playing the High Tide Gyojin. Now he sees that this card's coming out.
We don't want to get our sweaters all wet. Better take them off. Splash fight!
I need some air. I need some air.
In the super rares, we've got Book of Life, which is a really good just monster reborn for your zombies, as well as also kind of being a way of getting rid of some of the opponent's cards in the grave that could recur. Necro Valley, of course, being one of the strongest field spells ever printed. We then have in the ultra rare some iconic looking cards that maybe aren't so good, like we've got Great Dizard, Fusio Riche, Helpoema, Mystical Knight of Jackal. All of these cards are just god tier art wise, but none of them are particularly good effect wise. We have Rope of Life, which is an interesting monster reborn type card. In the commons, we've got of course the legendary Shape Snatch, the one whose snatch was shaped.
Snatch and run! Ah!
And we have a few other cool cards, some of my favourites right here. Swarm of Scarabs, Storm of Locusts, and Des Lacuda. These cards form the backbone of Pac-Man, the pure advantage camel, munches all noobs, and is one of my favourite like old decks to play. It is very fragile in games 2 and 3, but in game 1, this deck can feel absolutely unbeatable once you get the advantage chain going with the Lacudas, plus these guys just popping spells and monsters. We do get in these traps the Trap Dust Shoot, which of course is crazy now, wasn't really discovered as being good for a while, but this card is nuts even back in the day. We have the proper Gravekeepers monsters that are actually good, especially Spy, Guard, and Assailant. All three of these have some really good applications. We'd have some really funny spell cards like Reasoning and Royal Tribute, which is sometimes a win con in Gravekeepers all on its own. Terraforming to search any field spell. Obviously this card just gets so much value as field spells become more and more broken, but even with just Necro Valley, this card is very strong. And then in the traps, Raigeki Break is just like a nice, easy way of outing anything, provided Jinzo isn't on the board. So there's a lot of good things in this set. Alright, heading over to our collection, we were able to pick up a couple of Book of Moon, which is going to see us in good stead going forward. Dark Dust Spirit is very strong. A couple of Dark Geoids, which is just a decent card at lowering monsters' attacks, especially in the sealed environment. We did get triple Des Lakuda. We got one Spy, disappointing, really. I would have liked to have got more. We did get triple Guard and triple Assailant, so those cards are pretty good to have in play sets of. King Tiger Wang, who we only got one of, which I suppose is probably good, because if I had multiple of this would enable me to play just like a really scummy deck. We pulled the Lava Golem, which is insane, just a great way of outing a couple of problem cards. We got the Metamorphosis, 6 of that, which is just funny. It can turn any level 1 into our Thousand Eyes Restrict, or any sort of level 5 or 6 into one of our flexible fusions, which is really powerful. We did pull one Necro Valley, as well as 3 Terraforming to be able to search it, which is great. Double Needle Sealing as well. This card is really nutty, especially in Pac-Man. Needle Wall is just funny in sealed, it just prolongs game states. Ordeal of a Traveler, obviously scary in sealed and pretty good in progression at this stage anyway. Reasoning, we got a couple of. This card is integral for a lot of really powerful strategies down the line, and as long as we have one of them for when it gets limited, this card is always going to see a decent amount of playability. We got the one Rope of Life, triple Righteous Spirit. I forgot to talk about this card. This card is just Monster Reborn, but for Gravekeepers, and it's not affected by Necro Valley, obviously. So this card is just another way that Gravekeepers can maintain the advantage on the field. We picked up triple Swarm of Locusts and only double Swarm of Scabs, but that should still be enough, as well as the one Trap Dust Shoot for hand ripping. And now, just before we get into the deck profile, a quick word from our sponsor.
Human desires can be much likened to a river flowing. All humanity yearns for it, the endless now. That is why I'm here, you'll find.
That's right, thanks to Dr. Zed and his incredible Nutrient Zed, you too can now experience the endless now.
It is unequivocal fact.
That Nutrient Zed is
The essence of life.
with its trademark all-natural Rhadamanthus tachyon particles. This nutrient supplement will prevent the effects of aging altogether, keeping you preserved in the endless now.
There are no losers in the world I offer. With
Nutrient Z.
anyone can be a winner.
Click in the link in the description below to join me and the thousands of others rejecting our reality to embrace the endless now with Nutrient Z. Big shout out to Dr. Z and Nutrient Z for sponsoring this channel. Alright, for our deck, we of course have gone for basically every good stuff card with the Pac-Man and the Gravekeepers things. We have a Lava Golem just to be able to keep Tobias's board in check. Likewise, the Dark Dust Spirit is a really strong one tribute monster that can just blow up Tobias's monsters. We've got the one Gravekeepers Chief. Essentially, when he's tribute summoned, he just revives the monster that you tributed to summon him, which is basically free advantage, so really nice, especially if you have the Necro Valley out. That's just a lot of damage this guy puts on the board. We've got the triple Assailant. This card is going to be crucial at just enabling us to get through monsters. Likewise, the Spear Soldier with Piercing can enable us to actually get proactive damage going forward. We have the one Spy, which can obviously search any of these two, and we have the one New Doria and double Gravekeeper's Guard, which are just good cards for basically being reactive at either popping Tobias and monsters when they destroy by battle, or bouncing them back to the hand when they're flipped. We have triple Locusts and triple Scallops. These cards are reliable removal of both spell traps and monsters, and then the triple Des Lakuda for draw power. We also then have the Sasuke Samurai.
Sasuke's an emo! He has no emotions other than the emotion that is emo!
So if he attacks a face down monster, he just destroys it, which can be really powerful. If Tobias is on like a decent suite of spies and guards, this card can just like out them before they become an issue. And we've got the 1/8 Claws Scorpion. So he's a bit like Sasuke. When he attacks a face down defense monster, his attack becomes 2400. For the spells, we of course have Necro Valley and double Terraforming to search it. I don't know why we didn't play 3. We've got the third one in the side. We've got double Book of Tayu. This can allow us to flip either Tobias's set monsters into attack mode so we can kind of proactively deal with them. A Book of Tayu also allows us to play proactive with both the Locusts, Scarabs and the Lakuda. So on our turn, if we set one of these guys down and we have an opponent's card that we just need to out, we can Tayu, flip it over on our turn, activate its flip summon effect to pop a monster, spell card or draw, and then we can manually use their effects to flip them face down again so they can be reused come up our next turn. So this can be really good at just like accelerating our ability to use them. Reasoning, we've got a number of different level monsters here. We've got some 5s, lots of 4s, some 3s and a couple of 2s. So this card could potentially like get us into a really favourable situation. I'm not entirely convinced on it, that's why I'm not going all the way in. And we've got the double Book of Moon, which is just an incredible card. So in the traps, we've got double Ordeal of a Traveller. This card is a nightmare and it's really funny. Double Needle Sealing, this card combos super well with all of our swarms, so we love this card. One Ring of Destruction, because this card is broken and just destroys anything and potentially wins us the game on the spot with it. We have the triple Rite of Spirit, just to enable us to keep recurring our Gravekeeper's monsters and put some pressure on Tobias, as well as the one Rope of Life, and we finally have the one Trap Dust Shoot. For most situations, it always seems like Tobias keeps a lot of cards in hand, so just having this, even at 1, just being able to have a chance to look at Tobias' hand and shuffle something back into the deck is really strong. Anyway, so this is my deck profile, and we'll get straight on into the draws. We'll take a look at our opening hand here. Needle Sealing is incredibly strong. We've got the Swarm of Locusts and a couple of Gravekeeper's monsters, not too bad. Tobias draws, sets down a back row, another one, and then goes for the Banner of Courage. Okay, Winged Sage Focus, you'll love to see him, one of my all-time favourites, and the DDC to banish something from the deck and get it in 2 turns time. Fair enough. And with that, Tobias ends his turn. Over to us, we draw a Lava Golem, not too useful at the current situation. We're just going to set down the Needle Sealing. We get Pharaoh's Treasure. What the hell is this card? What? Do we open the same set, Tobias? What are all these cards?
Where did you get these?
Pharaoh's Treasure. Shuffle this card into the face-up into the deck. If you draw this face-up card that was added to the deck by this effect, send it to the graveyard, then target one card in the graveyard, except the card. Add that target to the hand. Why are you playing this? Your deck has 44 cards and you had found room for Pharaoh's Treasure? Tobias, mate, come on. You're better than this.
You're better than this.
Tobias.
That gets shuffled. I'm surprised Dueling Book has a shorthand key for that, because why? No, who had to code? I feel sorry for the poor sod that had to code Pharaoh's Treasure mechanics into this.
There, I have now coded Pharaoh's Treasure even though no one will use it. Just hit enter and...
Alright, we set down a monster, Tobias sets a back row, sets a monster, and he's going to head into battle with the full cost. It's just going to clean out our little Swarm of Locusts here. A little bit of bait, sad to lose him. Our turn, we draw the Terraforming, and with this, we're off to the races. Grabbing ourselves the Necro Valley from deck. We're going to slap it down, and then bring forth the Spear Soldier. We're going to head into battle, trying to attack this face-down monster. Oh, damn it. We just gave his Spy a 500 defense boost. How very annoying. Uses that to float into guard. And it's looking like we're kind of out of this game already. I was ripping on Pharaoh's Treasure, and not that that card has done anything, but I'm really scrambling to see a way out of here. I mean, at the moment, thankfully, the Spear Soldier does fend off everything he's got on the field, but with what he's searched with DDC, ooh, okay, thankfully he's passing. Alright, we've got the Book of Tayu. Oh, and we get Trap Dust Shooted. Fair enough. So we show Tobias our hand, and he gets to pluck one monster, shuffle it into the deck. By the Dark Dust Spirit, which would have been our very nice out to the board. We're going to summon down the Gravekeeper's Assailant, and with this we can start changing battle positions.
Ordeal or no ordeal.
We're going to head into combat, we're going to shift the Spy into attack mode, and I don't know what I call, but we revealed Trap, and apparently I called Trap. So we get the first combat, and we're able to go for the second one. We get Book of Moon, setting down the Gravekeeper's Spy. That is a pro gamer move, I love that. We're going to use Spear Soldier. We actually can't do this. We just cheated. We cheated. We can't redirect because the monsters on the field didn't change. I would still have to be attacking a Spy, therefore I would have taken 500 damage, and Tobias would have got another summon out of the deck from this.
Cheated, 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 cheated!
Tobias draws, sets down a card, passes it back to us. We're going to draw another Book of Tayu, which is funny. The Ring of Destruction comes down, pops the Gravekeepers. Okay, so we both take the 1500 here. Then we're going to go for pass, because we can't get past any of his monsters. Tobias draws, sets down a monster, passes over to us. Okay, Dark Dust Spirit, what a good out. I think it only kills face up monsters, so it actually isn't too impactful at the moment. Right, so we're going to go Book of... I see what we're going to do. We're going to Book of Tayu, flip open the Pyramid Turtle. Then we're going to go Book of Tayu.
Another one.
Flip open this Gravekeeper Spy. Tobias is going to use Spy, and he's going to grab the guard. Now, descend to the field, the Dark Dust Spirit. Spirit, wipe his board with the swirling sandstorms. Dude, we're going to get in for 2200 here. Oh.
On deal, on no, on deal.
I don't know what I declared, but I did not declare monster. I suppose he was returning to the hand in the end phase anyway, but this kind of just shortcut it. Right, a pass turn. Tobias to go. He's going to set down a card, summon out the Wang Hu, and I'll take 1700 here. My turn. Gravekeeper's Assailant is a pretty good draw. This does actually get us past the Wang Hu, provided the back row is nothing. So we're going to summon the Assailant down, headed to combat, and try and attack in. No cards in hand, so we don't need to reveal anything. Okay, so we're going to deal 300 damage to here to Tobias, and he's going to draw into nothing of note. Our turn. Rite of Spirit is incredible. This just gets us like 3 monsters back. So we're just going to head for the battle. Assailant is going to punch one in for 2000 damage here. If I can call correctly.
On deal, on no, on deal.
Monster. Over to Tobias. We know he's got the Guardian Sphinx, so we've got a 50% chance of landing this attack. He's shuffling them up, Non-stop shuffle. We're going to go in for the combat. I'm going to declare Monster Cardo.
On deal, on no, on deal.
Ugh, Needle Wall. Return to the hand. I got to admit, that's some pretty fun synergy. Trap Dust Shoot after the ordeal, that's good. Okay, we reveal the hand, and Tobias is going to pluck. What's he going to take? He's going to take the Dark Dust Spirit out, fair enough. We're going to slap down the Assailant in main phase 2 again, and just pass it down. Tobias draws, sets down a card, which could be the Needle of Sealing, it could be like a new spell that he's drawn. Argo. Starts to shuffling again. He always shuffling. We're going to Alright, we're going to head for the combat. Punch one in.
On deal, on no, on deal.
Look at this card. Go for the... well, Waigeki Break, I guess he does not want to take that damage. Discards the Needle Wall to get rid of our Assailant. We're going to go Rite of Spirit, bring the Assailant straight back, and head on in now that we know that his card in hand is a monster. We can deal the 2000 damage and put Tobias on a 1-turn clock. We'll set down the Book of Moon and end the turn. Tobias to go. He draws, sets down a card. Well, we know he's got the Guardian Sphinx in hand, so if this attack connects, we win. To try and guarantee that, we're going to slap down the Spear Soldier we just drew for turn, and even if he's got a Book of Moon, this should be game. Oh, Waigeki Break, and yeah. Ba-da-da-da. I don't think the cheat would have mattered, because it would have put another monster on Tobias' board. I don't think he still would have been able to clear our defense, and then he would have Dark Dust Spirited and popped everything anyway, so it just would have been like a 5-for-1 with the Dark Dust Spirit instead of a 4-for-1, so it didn't affect too much. Right. Okay, we have a pretty good hand for going first. Unfortunately, Tobias has put himself in first again. Sets down a monster, DDCs, passes. Argo. At least we're not having to deal with any traps, which is pretty decent. We're going to activate Reasoning. Tobias, I believe, declares the 4. And the pure advantage camel is ready to munch on you, Tobias. And we're going to use his effect to set him face down. We're going to set down the locusts, and we're going to set the whole darn fort past the turn. As you draw, I activate the Trap Dust Shoot, letting me look at your hand. And I will shuffle back a card. That's really annoying. In the dual replay, it doesn't show me looking at Tobias' hand, so I don't know what I shuffled back. Probably a good monster, but I have hand knowledge, but I can't remember what all the cards are. Down comes the Royal Keeper. Okay, 1600. He's just a decent dude. He's going to head into battle, and we're going to Book of Moon him. Sets down one more card, and ends turn. Argo, the Locusts, another one. Oh my gosh, we're just going to start the advantage train rolling. Des Lacuda, flip summon, draw. Swarm of Locusts, flip summon, pop the DDC, stranding this card in the banished zone forever.
I hereby banish you forever.
Afterwards, we'll set down one more card, flip these two boys back down, we'll set another mystery back row and end our turn. Your go. Tobias draws, summons down the Master Kyonshi. Flips over the royal. Oh, actually, this is a negative synergy. He's now boosted up to 1900. Not that it matters too much because he dies afterwards. Gravekeeper spies out, and this is a pretty menacing board. Guard comes down, heads into battle, we lose 2 of our guys. Thankfully, he didn't put the guard vertical, so we're able to use the Book of Moon to preserve our final locusts here. And over to us. We draw. Gravekeeper Spy is not a bad draw, all things considered, especially when we only have one of this card. We're just going to flip open the Swarm of Locusts, pop his back row, gets rid of the Rite of Spirit, nice to remove, set him down, set down the Spy, and pass. I don't really want to give the Necro Valley boost to all his dudes, even though it would be good for my defense. We seriously like opened different sets, so you're playing all these like beefy Chonguses, and I'm just playing little swarms. Okay, Royal Keeper flips over. 1900, Gravekeeper's Guard goes vertical, okay, Swarm of Locusts dies, and thankfully our Spy is able to preserve our life total as we float on in to a Guard to protect us even more. Unable to out our monsters, Tobias passes, and flips his Royal Spirit Keeper back down so it can boost its attack next turn. Needle sealing, I love to see it. We're just going to go for the full board ripe insanity. We're going to set down the Rite of Spirit just so we've got some recall, and down comes the Necro Valley, boosting all these Gravekeepers by 500 attack and defense. We're going to use this opportunity to swap our Guard into attack mode and our Spy into attack mode. We're going to get rid of the K-Bazoos, crash them together. Don't really need to do this theatrics when I just know I'm going to needle sealing everything. It's to give Tobias the illusion of safety. We're losing our monsters, but we're clearing yours. What could possibly go wrong? I'm not just leaving myself open for no reason. I mean, there's not really much Tobias can do to not play into the trap other than not summoning a monster. Actually, he summoned a monster, flips over the Royal Keeper, and bye-bye! Needle sealing, get him out of here! You can keep your set monster, Tobias. You don't even care. 3 for 1. Boom! My turn. We draw the Ordeal, which is not very good when we've got nothing else in hand. Look through our graveyard, and we don't really have anything great to revive with the Rite of Spirit, none of our really aggressive Gravekeepers, so we're just going to set the Ordeal of a Traveller and pass. We can take it a little slow for now. Tobias draws. Down comes the face down, and our turn again. Get the Swarm of Scabs, which is... Ooh, Needle Wall. Okay, this is a fun card. So, I didn't really cover this in the set breakdown, but basically during the player standby phase that controls this card, they get to roll a 6-sided die and allot the columns of the board 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whatever number they roll, they destroy a monster that I control in that zone. If you roll a 6, they get to roll again. So obviously I need to have a monster. Well, I suppose it doesn't really matter because wherever I summon the Swarm of Scabs, there's like a 1 in 6 chance it just gets popped by Needle Wall next turn. So it's just like funny shenanigan card. So I'm just going to set the Scabs down here, and we hope Tobias doesn't roll before. Yeah, okay, good. Now that, alright, Tobias sets out a monster, passes a go. Over to us. We draw the 8 Claws Scorpion. That is a really strong draw. That can out like anything he puts in defense. Okay, down comes the Scarabs. Flipping it over, we're going to pop Tobias's rightmost card, Maiden of the Aqua. High Tide Gyojin, go crazy right now.
Whoa! Whoa!
We're going to flip the Scours back down and normal summon the 8 Claws Scorpion. 8 Claws Scorpion, punch on in and try and clear whatever Tobias has got set. Oh, we get Book of Moon, fair enough. With that, I'll end my turn. 5, nothing happens. Flips the Royal Keeper, just clears out our Scabs, and then goes for the Ordeal. We draw another Rite of Spirit. Again, we still don't have anything aggressive to use this with, but it's not a bad draw. We're just going to pass our turn. Tobias's go. And he gets to 2, thankfully.
Ordeal or no ordeal.
We're going to go for the Ordeal as he goes for battle. Reveal, bounce back the Royal Keeper, and then his Kyonchi is able to clear because he knows we've got the trap in hand. Alright, our turn. That is not a bad draw. We can basically use this to out one of his problems. So we're just going to set it so and pass my turn. Tobias go. 3. Phew, avoided that zone. Down comes the Pyramid Turtle. Oh, you're just playing like zombie control. I get it. Okay. Goes in with the Kyonchi, and we're going to use the New Doria to pop the Pyramid Turtle. We don't want that getting any advantage. My turn. Ooh, Spear Soldier, that's really good. Now we can actually have value from our Rite of Spirits. We're going to normal summon the Spear Soldier, and we're going to go into for battle. In hindsight, not attacking would have been the optimal play, because now I risk bouncing to the hand, which is what happens. Alright, we're going to end our turn. Needle Wall, no point rolling for that, because I've got nothing on the field. Okay, Kyunchi goes for battle. Reveals a Rite of Spirit, and bounces back to the hand. Ooh, I guess that's the kind of weird interplay with Ordeal. Every time a card does bounce the hand, it makes it that much harder for the opponent to nail their own Ordeal call. Alright, we draw the Terraforming, which is completely useless, but at least we can keep it in hand as like a bluff for Ordeal of Travel. It's like another monster spell trap that he has to deal with. We're going to go for the Spear Soldier, head to combat and declare Monster. With this, we're able to clear the Royal Keeper, and then we can just deal a little bit of piercing damage and pass the turn over. Roll for Needle Wall, and it's a 3! Ugh, the Spear Soldier dies. Fair enough. Okay, Tobias sets down one. Down comes Kyunchi once more. Pass. Doesn't want to engage with our Ordeal, which is fine by us. We're going to Rite of Spirit and bring back the Spear Soldier, so we can be aggressive on our turn. We draw the Des Lacuda. Very happy to see that. Going to set it face down and head to combat. Goes... Oh, Book of Moon. Okay, fair enough. We're not getting through this combat line. Alright, we're just going to pass the turn and over to Tobias. Gets the 1. Thankfully doesn't hit anything. Huh? Oh. I was like, what the hell happened? Lava Golem me. That is a... Oh my gosh, that actually combos nicely with the Ordeal of a Traveler, because if I attack with it and I call wrong, he gets a Lava Golem back to hand. That's pretty spicy. We draw the Needle Sealing. It's not... I don't think there's any position where we're getting 4 monsters on board. Okay, right, Yeki Break comes down after we take the 1,000 from the Lava Golem, and Tobias discards his Gravekeeper Spy to out his own Golem. We've not got much going on, so we're just going to set down the Rite of Spirit and keep this Needle Sealing in hand, just so we can bluff with the Ordeal. Pass the turn. Tobias sets down a card and ends his turn. We're going to go Rite of Spirit in the end phase, bring back this Spear Soldier, and now Tobias has nothing in his hand. We can clear out this Kyunchi come our turn. Our draw, we get the Des Lacuda. I love to see it. I'm going to set Lacuda down, set down the Needle Sealing, and head into combat, clearing the Kyunchi since Tobias has no hand. Oh, but he has another Book of Moon. Spear Soldier goes down. Pass the turn. Gets the 1 again, so we get to keep both our monsters. Heads into combat.
Ordeal.
Declared spell, and actually clears our little Spear Soldier. Well, we do have the advantage camel to hopefully bring us back into play, which we're going to flip over, draw Book of Taiyu. If I'd done this smart, I could have done the first Taiyu, used that to flip the Lacuda, drawn, then set Lacuda with its effect, then flipped it over with its effect to draw again, and then I would draw the second. I don't know. We could have drawn like one more card out of this. We're just going to keep everything in hand just to try and keep the bluffs going with the Ordeal and end our turn. Tobias rolls and hits the 2, which kills our Pac-Man monster. Different Dimension Capsule comes down, and we get to banish another card in the different dimension, strand another card there for a couple of turns. He heads into combat.
Ordeal.
We must have declared a monster because we took no damage, so we must have sort of just returned the Kyunchi back to the field. Sometimes we just kind of skip the combat in these early games, so even though we don't have battle, it's just like verbal. we verbally fighting. Okay, this time we get it right. We go for the set Locust. We're going to Book of Taiyu, flip the Locust up. With Locust, we're going to pop the Needle Wall, and then we're going to use Locust to set himself down, keep the 2 cards left in hand, and hope we can wing our way through the ordeals. Oh dear. Okay, Poison Mummy comes up. This card was printed here. I remember this card from Starter Deck GX and the Starter Deck Cyrus and Jaden. I didn't realise it debuted all the way back here.
Ordeal.
Oh, he's going to head for combat, hits the spell, hits the Locusts, and we're going to take the 1750 because he knows both cards in hands are spells. We draw Sasuke Samurai, which is doing literally nothing at this stage. Our only course of action is if Tobias overcommits and we can Needle Sealing and hopefully pull ourselves back into the game. He gets his banished card back to the hand because of the DDC, activates the Banner of Courage, heads to combat, cleans out the Sasuke, and we're going to take 1000 direct. Spear Soldier is a pretty good draw because it just at least functionally is a wall that Tobias has to find some way out of outing. I don't know why we headed into combat here when the optimal play is leave him on the field in attack mode.
On deal, on no, on deal.
Question. Okay, I like it. Apparently we did call the spell and we were able to get rid of the Kyonchi. We put ourselves back in a winning position here. Down comes question. Putting me on the spot here, Tobias. Bottom of the graveyard, bottom of the graveyard. I called it wrong because down comes the Cabazools. Okay, going back to weird like Yu-Gi-Oh! Art analysis. I always thought Cabazools was towering over trees. I thought these green things were trees and like he was like 50 foot tall or something and his body like kept going down.
It's a titan.
Actually, you can see his legs, and I think this green gas cloud is just literally his sneeze.
No shit, Sherlock.
I mean, to be fair, if I just read the description, it would have been pretty obvious that the sneezing is so fierce that it makes it mistakes for a hurricane. I thought like he was sneezing as well as being like ginormous, okay? This guy could just be like literally a foot tall. That's kind of cute. He's kind of cute now, I can see his feet. I like him. I like him even more. I just thought he was like a big scary dude that just like sneezed a lot, but he's actually just he's a little darling. He's a little baby.
Oh, look at him. He's such a cute little thing. Can we keep him?
Tobias flips his Poison Mummy into defense and just ends his turn. We draw the Swarm of Scarabs, and now since we have Needle Sealing, we can start actually tearing apart Tobias's field.
On deal, on no, on deal.
Get Dust Duted, and the Spear Soldier returns to the hand. I am my turn. Tobias sets one back row and passes. We draw our final Rite of Spirit, which is pretty useful here. Oh, not when he's got Trap Dust Shoot. Spear Soldier, shuffle back into the deck. We can flip over our Swarm of Scouts, pop the Cabazools, send them back down, activate Book of Tayu, flip them over, get rid of the Poison Mummy. The Scarabs are coming, Tobias. They're swarming all over you. I'll set down one card and we're going to head for combat.
On deal, on no, on deal.
Go on, Swarm, take him out. Yep, so we bounce back to hand, that's okay, we can send him back down and end our turn. Down comes the Dark Geroid. Goes for combat, knows that we've only got the Terraforming in hand, so clears that. Our turn. We draw a second ordeal, we're going to go Rite of Spirit, bring ourselves back the Spear Soldier, head for combat.
On deal, on no, on deal.
Spell! Oh. Okay, we're going to just summon him down anyway, since we haven't used our normal summon. Tributing the Dark Geroid, uh-oh. Well, that's not ominous at all. I believe that might be the very monster featured on Ordeal of a Traveller, if I'm not much mistaken. We're going to go for the Assailant. At least this actually solidly outs the... We're just drawing all the outs here. We're going to head to battle with the Spear Soldier. It's a Guardian Sphinx, so we're going to take a bit of damage here, but now we can use the Assailant, shift him to attack mode, and actually clear him. At this point, Tobias is living on a prayer, passes our turn. At least he's now got a card in hand, so we're going to go in with the Spear Soldier.
On deal, on no, on deal.
Oh, it's the Pharaoh's Treasure coming to haunt Tobias as he's going to take 4,000 smackers to the face there. He draws, sets a monster, it's his last defense. We get the Gravekeeper's Guard for turn. We're just going to set that down just for some value next turn. Head in with the Spear Soldier. Oh, Maiden of the Aqua. And then we're going to go for the Assailant, shifting her vertical and clearing her. Tobias is going to take a little bit of damage here, and it's over to him. Let's go. That was a good game.
What an ordeal.
Man, these cards are great. I love this. I love this era of Yu-Gi-Oh! I love this set in Yu-Gi-Oh! This set is so fun. Alright, heading into our sealed deck profile, we have gone Pharaonic Guardian mad here. Basically, the core of my deck has completely shifted. We still have stuff like the Mystic Tomato and Giant Rat, but we now actually have value things that these cards can bring to the field. We've got the Locusts and the Scarabs that Mystic Tomato can grab. We've got Deslakuda that Giant Rat can grab. We've got a little Gravekeeper's Engine going with the Spy, the Assailants, the Spear Soldier and the Guard and the Chief. And we've got Bazoo which kind of has negative synergy with Necro Valley because we can't actually banish cards if we have Necro Valley out, but this card can just be huge at clearing things. We've taken out Zombira, taken out the Gumo, bye-bye Jinzo, we don't need him anymore. Pac-Man all the way, baby. We've got the Heavy Storm, of course, in the spells, along with the Necro Valley. Offerings to the Doomed is just like a really nice bit of removal. Pot of Greed, triple Terraforming just to ensure that we can try and get to Necro Valley as quickly as possible. Double Book of Moon because this card is very strong. We have the Double Ordeal. We've got double Bottomless, double Needle Sealing, the one Ring of Destruction, and double Rite of Spirit. Oh my, I'm just going nuts over this. Okay, I'm getting too excited because these cards are just so much fun. At least to me, they're probably hellish to play against, and trust me, I've faced them in the past, and it's not a fun deck to be at the opposite side of the table. But playing these cards, oh, we're actually getting to Yu-Gi-Oh decks that I enjoy. This is cool. I'm excited. Can you feel the energy in the room? Nice.
Now, I'm actually happy.
Alright, if we feel that the Pac-Man isn't working too well, we do have the more conventional sideboard where you can bring in Jinzo, the Jirais, a couple of Zombiras. We've got the second Bazoo here. Sasuke, just in case Tobias is also on like some defensive Pac-Man stuff. This card could come in. We've got the Fissures. At this point, I don't think Fissure is worthy of the main deck include when Swarm of Scalds sort of does Fissure's job but better and also as a body. We've got a couple of returning alive to pair with the Zombira. The third Righteous Spirit and the Trap Dust Shoot for if we know we're going first, we can always just bring this in. And of course the Lava Golem just in case Tobias brings something that is like too tricky to remove. Right, let's head into the games. So excited to see what happens. We win the rock, paper, scissors, enabling us to go first. Looking at our opening hand, we've got a fistful of the Gravekeepers. We're going to set down the Tomato and the Bottomless Trap. I'll pass it over. Tobias sets one back row. Down comes a Legendary Ocean. Okay, Pac-Man versus Umi. This should be fun. Legendary. Is this card? Wait, there's no way this card is out at this point in Yu-Gi-Oh. Wait 1 second. When did the Legendary Fisherman come out? That card was like way later, wasn't he? Wasn't he like, I don't know, Rise of Destiny or something? Legendary Fisherman. Yu-Gi-Oh. Pharaoh's Servant? What? I guess it just wasn't good before Legendary Ocean when it was just a level 5, but this card is actually pretty strong. So it's, while Umi's on the field, which this card counts as, it's obviously treated as a level 4 because every water monster in hand and field loses 1 level. It's unaffected by spell effects and can't be targeted for attacks. That is like an actually like solid card. Like wow, okay, impressive. We're just gonna bottomless it though. It can't be targeted for spells, but it can easily be bottomlessed. Tobias passes. I'll go. So we're gonna set down the Ring of Destruction, flip over the Mystic Tomato, set down the Spy, and start going aggressive with this Tomato. Dealing at 1400. Over to Tobias. Down comes the... We are... Okay. Legendary Ocean, I guess, has some synergy with Gyojin, but come on, Tobias. We're not still playing vanillas. Alright, Mystic Tomato dies to the Gyojin. We're going to float into the Swarm of Scallops. And the fun's going to start. Oh, especially when we draw the Pac-Man. We draw the camel. Alright. Flip over the Scallops. Get the Gyojin out of here. And we're going to set down our Lakuda, and we're going to hit on him with Scabs for paltry 500. Pass the turn. And down comes Zombira. We'll take the 1600. No reason to really use our Ring of Destruction yet. We're happy enough to lose our Scabs. We're going to flip over the Des Lakuda, draw into a second one, set this boy down. Oh my gosh, the camels. We're going to munch them all. Wait, this card becomes at level 6. It becomes a 1 tribute thanks to Legendary Ocean. Oh my gosh, that play would be crazy. And I probably should have just Ring of Destruction, but now we'll lose a camel to the Surgeon. We'll let you have your fun, Tobias. Especially when we're drawing Terraforming. Then let's flip over our other Lakuda. Draw! Oh! Set him down. Draw the Pot of Greed. Draw 2 more. The other camel. This is just... Oh my gosh. I'm going to set the 3rd Lakuda down. Activate Terraforming. Grab ourselves Necro Valley. Still... Oh my gosh, this deck is just so fun. I'm just... you don't want to know what's going on down below at the moment.
Should we be worried? Always. We should always be worried about him.
This is just crazy. This is so fun. Okay, sorry. Tobias is go. I'm just getting too hyped. Tobias is go. Down comes the Dark Elf. Okay. Now I know you're trolling. You're going to pay 1,000, hit over the Des Lakuda, and hit over the other one. Why are we not Wing of Destructioning? I think we're just playing the low ball here. Okay, we draw the Offerings to the Doom. That's kind of funny. We're going to go for the Necro Valley here. Get rid of the Legendary Ocean, because at this stage in Yu-Gi-Oh! You can only have one field spell. I'm going to flip over our Spy. Spy, grab Assailant, and then we're going to hammer down... Oh, Bottomless Trap Hole. Gets the Assailant out of here. Fair enough. We're going to slam down our Spear Soldier. Gets boosted by the Necro Valley, and we're just going to punch on in and draw even with a Dark Elf. Both of them die. We're going to set down our Rite of Spirit and the Offerings to the Doomed and pass it on over. Tobias draws, sets a card, sets another card, summons the Witch of the Black Forest. We're going to Offerings to the Doomed, get rid of that Sewer Gen. At this point, yeah, we just can't be bothered to deal with it. Witch can't clear our Spy, so it becomes our turn. We're going to set down the Sangan and just clear his Witch. With the Witch, Tobias grabs the Injection Fairy Lily. Okay. And with that, we end our turn. Tobias draws, summons down the Gumo, and passes. We're going to Wing of Destruction, just get rid of the Gumo. At this point, we've got the game pretty much won, provided Tobias' back row aren't too problematic. Slam him down by 2200 life points, and then we're going to summon... Oh, we're going to draw first, sorry. We're going to flip over the Sangan, get Wing of Destruction, but we have the Mystic Tomato, so it does not matter. Alright, Tobias goes first, and I'm put in second, which I'm happy for. I'm just now noticing Tobias' deck is 45 cards. What cards are you using to fill those slots? Is Pharaoh's Treasure in your deck again, Tobias? Better not be. Alright, he draws for turn, sets down one card, sets down another, activates the Legendary Ocean straight off the bat, and brings out the Legendary Fisherman. Very strong when he doesn't have to contend with the Bottomless, I must say. Our turn, we put the Terraform, which is completely dead, given we naturally drew the Necro Valley. At least we can go for the, we just set down a pair. We don't want to be too zealous and play into anything easy like a Bottomless. Down comes Gyojin. I'm going to take quite a bit of damage here. We'll humble almost half our life points. Ooh, we get the Giant Rat for turn, which is pretty good. We're going to go for the set monster, pass a turn. Tobias draws, summons down the Zombiwa. We're going to Needle... We're going to Needle Sealing, wipe him out, get him out of here. And oh, at least he has the follow-up. He has the follow-up Aqua Spirit. Fair enough, Tobias ain't out of the water just yet. I mean, to be fair, he's only just got in the water.
I don't see the joke.
We're going to float our rat into the Lakuda. The Pure Advantage Camo can start munching. Set him down, flip him up, draw. Activate the Necro Valley. Get rid of the Legendary Ocean. Summon forth the Assailant. And we're going to swoop on into battle, hopefully clearing out the Aqua Spirit here. Ooh, Dark Spirit of the Silent. That forces our Lakuda to attack instead. So we're going to take 1100 here and lose our little camel. Tobias sets a monster and passes the turn. Our turn, we draw the Des Lakuda. Within the standby phase, he uses Aqua Spirit, turns our Gravekeeper's Ascendant sideways, which is fine. We're just going to set down these Swarm Scalps and pass it back to Tobias. On Tobias' turn, he gets the Fissure that cleanly outs the Assailant. Fair enough. As he goes for battle, we're going to flip down the Aqua Spirit because we want to preserve our Scalps here. He flips it over in main phase 2, and it's back to us. Now, in main phase, we're going to flip over the Scarabs, pop the Aqua Spirit, get that card out of here. And we're going to flip it back down again, and set our Locusts and pass it back. Tobias' turn. He summons the Dark Elf. Use that to clear out the Scarabs by paying 1000. Not a bad trade, if I do say so myself. Our turn, we draw the Rite of Spirit. Pretty good card here. We're going to go for this Locusts, get rid of whatever Tobias got cooking in the back row. Down goes the Book of Moon, doesn't really want to fire that. Oh, he does fire that in response, setting down the Locusts, or we set the Locusts, much the same thing. We're going to summon down the Assailant now, and now we can just cleanly crash with the Dark Elf. Main phase 2, we'll set down the Rite of Spirit just so we can revive our Assailant back for our next turn. Tobias draws, sets down a back row, and summons the Jinzo, which ices the Rite of Spirit and cleans out our Locusts.
Part of the cards.
guide me.
Then we just draw the like 1 out in the deck. We want to get a little bit more value out of this. We want to see what art we can cook with our Mystic Tomatoes, get ourselves into another swarm before we really deal with the Jinzo. With this first Mystic Tomato, we float into the Scarabs. Tobias then goes for the Offerings to the Dooms to get rid of the Scarabs. Pretty good value if you ask me. Our turn. We draw. Gravekeeper's Chief. Not doing too much. We have to go for our own offerings here, get rid of the Jinzo, so now we can actually go for the Rite of Spirit. Oh, we're not going to go for that. We're just going to go for the pure advantage camel here and hope Tobias doesn't draw a monster. Tobias passes. Perfect. Our turn. Munch all noobs! Hum. Okay, what a useless draw. We're going to set it back down again, and then we're going to activate the Rite of Spirit, bringing back our Assailant. And we get Wing of Destruction. Oh my gosh, that puts us down to 1500 life points here. We're dangerous. We're going to tribute the Des Lacuda, summon the Gravekeeper's Chief. Chief is going to bring us back the Assailant, and then we're going to be able to walk on in for 4400 here. Not quite lethal, but close enough. Pass. Tobias draws. And that's the game. Alright, turbo time. Tobias is up first. Let's see what we can cook with. Sets down a card, goes for the Legendary Ocean, goes for the Terraforming, grabbing the Legendary Ocean. Down comes the Legendary Fisherman, glued to Tobias' hand. We're going to grab our own Necro Valley, use it to out his Legendary Ocean, and go for Gravekeeper's Assailant. We die to the Offerings to the Doomed. During the next turn, we're going to go Rite of Spirit, bring back the Assailant, and be able to clear the thingy. Bounces to hand for the guard. We're going to summon the Mystic Tomato. Can't get past the Maiden of the Aqua. Heading to battle, we're going to get rid of the Mystic Tomato, clean into a Witch of the Black Forest. Hey, I don't know why we decided to book the Witch to preserve our Pac-Man dude. We're going to go Needle Sealing, pop his Maiden of the Aqua. Down comes the Aqua Spirit. We're going to use our Bottomless Trap Hole to banish it. Flips over the Witch, gets rid of our Lacuda. Flip summons these Locusts, get rid of the Book of Moon. We're going to use the Ring of Destruction, pop the Witch. Tobias grabs himself a Jinzo. We're going to flip the Locust, get rid of the Bottomless, go for the Assailant, crash with the thingy. Down comes Jinzo, clearing out our Assailant. Main phase 2 comes that Aqua Spirit. We're going to summon the Rat, grabs ourselves into a Des Lacuda, which is also going to die. At this point, we kind of grasp with the Stores. Thankfully, we draw the Spy, which is able to preserve us a little bit. Gets our Spear Soldier's turn to defense mode, draws the Injection Fairy Lily, and with that is able to clean out our guys. Things are looking bad, and we draw the Terraforming, and that's the game. Doodle-doo. Okay, into the all-important game 4, of course. We go for the Necro Valley, set down a monster, set down a macro. Tobias is product of greeting, finding his own field spell, uses that, summons out the Legendary Fisherman. Mage Power comes through, card is massive, but thankfully it's our guard. Bounces it back to hand, summons his Mage Power thing again. We're going to go for the Swarm of Scams, that's going to get Offerings to the Dooms on by. It's going to clean out the Sangan. We're going to grab our Mystic Tomato with the Sangan just so we've got some fodder. Mystic Tomato comes down, we're going to go 1, 2, float on into the Gravekeeper's Assailant, and we're going to get Raigeki Break. Did we miss Raigeki Break? I think we missed Raigeki Break. We're going to Needle Sealing, get rid of his monsters. Now we have our Swarm of Locusts, and we can firmly establish a bit of a winning play here. Set it down, summon the Lacuda flip, draw some cards. We're going to go for the Needle Sealing once more, clean out his 2 cards, flip over our monsters, get rid of Tobias' last field spell, and start chunking in some damage. At this point, the game is over because Pac-Man is just that strong. And that's the game. And that's the episode. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed these games. A bit of a shorter one than the last couple, which is a relief for me, makes editing a little bit easier. And hopefully we should have the next episode up with you fairly soon. Next time we're going to be going for Dark Beginning 2 and then Magician's Force. So these 2 sets will hopefully shift our decks into more fun and strong directions as we progress further in the Seal of Prog-Richalcos. Take it easy, subscribe, thanks for watching.